I'm sorry I interrupted. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm pretty excited for the semester to end. Woohoo!
I'm excited for this class to end.
Oh no, we're live. Don't say that.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding. I'm with you. It's learned a lot, but it's definitely been a tough class.
Hmm.
I feel accomplished. I feel like I'm amazed I did as well as I'm doing as well as I'm doing well on the
Yeah.
final exam, and all will be well. All right. Well, have both of you read the hypothetical problem?
I have.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I guess all that we're really doing today is chatting about it. Let's see. We just, the best way we can prepare, it says, is by going through the problem and identifying all the legal issues, you can answer them.
So the first problem I noticed was when they're designing
Mm-hmm.
and where is it? It says how Klaus is telling him to move the engine, and how their competitor Airfuse or Airfuss did the same thing with their newest model, and they're like, "Well, it's a good thing you come to work on the light side." Isn't that insider trading, or
I
is
would think
that?
so, because that's trading secrets that you wouldn't otherwise know.
Yeah,
Because you're an agent. An agent can be considered an insider, right? Someone who works for him.
yeah. Okay, and then we need to discuss how we would fix it.
Well, becoming a gas guzzler is a problem. Nobody wants a gas guzzler, but
Yeah.
Well, I mean, basically, you can't just copy paste, right? They'd have to come up with their own solution. Or
Yeah.
is there a way for them to use the same idea?
Mhm.
Like, I'm not sure.
I feel like maybe they should have, like, if Klaus would have known better, he wouldn't have said so. He could have been like, "Hey, based on what I've learned, I've seen several other companies do this. Maybe we should see and test that theory, and then help the company get to that conclusion on its own." So that way they're not like automatically saying, "Oh, look, we're copying Airfuss."
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I feel like it's like the same with plagiarizing. You can't just take something straight from the book and say it's your own.
Yeah,
But
you
if
have
you say
to.
something like, sorry, I can hear myself echoing. Um, if we say, okay, based on examples that we've done, this is our findings.
Yeah, come to the conclusion on their own, not just copy and paste their ideas.
Attitude. And it must be cited MLA, or ALA in order to put in that plagiarism.
Yeah. Okay, so we got that solution. Continuing on. The next thing that happened was the sexist thing, right? That was kind of not the best. Is there any legal problems that come with what she did, like tweeting about him and then them losing a bunch of business?
I feel like there is, just because she kind of blew it out of proportion.
Yeah. But what legal is that like?
I think it's like the main thing that popped out was when she said in her tweet that they're conning its customers into buying faulty engines.
So it's falseness.
Yeah, I want to say it's false doctrine, but I know that's not the word.
False doctrine.
What's that? A breach? No, not a breach.
Gosh, there's just so much that we've learned. It's hard to like pinpoint exactly what it is.
You got the book.
Isn't there something about like lying to tear down competitors? I guess I'm not a competitor. I don't know. But basically, the right thing to do would have been not to do that. I mean, it'd be one thing to call him sexist if that was her take on it, but
I would have gone higher up and reported about like
yeah,
the prejudice that was towards her, but I wouldn't have put it online.
yeah, I agree. It's also just kind of interesting, like when you see how big of a impact that had. Like, you just, oh, I'm just tweeting something because I'm angry. But then it got like passed around and maybe it like really hurt business.
Well,
It's kind of interesting.
any kind of social media, you're putting your information out there. I mean, for everybody to see.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing what she did was a breach of trust. Because based on the definition, it says a trustee's violation of his or her duty of loyalty, or any other duty owed to the beneficiary. The breach renders the trustee liable to the beneficiary for any loss or depreciation in value of the trust property and for profit resulting from the breach. And I'm guessing they took a hit because of that. And now
Okay.
they
Yeah.
may not be in the company, but they're using their engines for their aircrafts.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds pretty accurate, but gosh, can you believe if you got like for a couple like thousand or even like you tweeted something and
Yeah, no, it would suck. You're cutting out. I can't hear you.
Yeah, just a little bit. Me too. Something's wrong.
sorry, my internet sucks.
Okay, so let's move on to the next problem.
So then the next part.
So I believe the next problem is in the next paragraph, where Boring Bill is talking to Rockwell Corp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're talking about how. Sorry. the cockpit technology, that only Boring would get it if they agreed to this deal, which is something tying. We learned about it this last
Illegal tying.
exam. Yeah, illegal tying.
The Clayton Act? Sherman
Ah,
Act? It's the Sherman Act, isn't it?
I think so.
It's in Patent Act. It's something to do with antitrust.
Yeah.
Right. Illegal tying.
Mm-hmm. So how would we solve it, or keep that from happening?
Well, let's see. You can still have tying arrangements. Let's see. So would that be illegal tying, or would that be exclusive distributionership?
Probably distribution.
Because exclusive distribution says occurs when a firm acquires the sole right to sell a manufacturer's product within a given geographical region. Is that it? Exclusive dealing? I don't know.
So it says Lee assured Bill that if Boring wanted the cockpit technology first, only Boring would get it. The only catch was that several parts of the navigation system came from Harris Corp, which had deals with Airbus to provide the same type of navigation. Lee told Bill that he would talk to the guys over Harris and convince them to cut ties with Airbus and deal only with Boring to keep Money's America in America. I think that's illegal tying.
Okay. So basically, they just wouldn't, to make it legal, you just don't do that.
Yeah. So I believe if they would have just not said cut ties with Airfuss,
Yeah.
because then it would just be exclusive dealing,
Gotcha.
right?
I believe so.
It sounds like the Bette Midler paragraph or article that we did, where they were like stealing identity or stealing information.
Mm-hmm.
Legal tying.
Should we move on to the next one?
I can definitely see why they would want to do that.
I didn't understand that last one. What'd you say?
But it is illegal.
All right. So the next one is the lawsuit about the two pilots that died. So,
So, sorry, that's coming in and out.
yeah, you're cutting out really bad.
Aaron is.
Mm-hmm. So I know they couldn't have prevented the crash because it's hard to keep birds out. But
Y'all seen that movie, Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, you can't. It's just a natural, a fluke accident. Really, you can't avoid it. So
Yeah. In the real world, there are going to be birds. And
yes.
so it was a good thing that they knew what the birds would do, but it's a really bad thing that they lost 2 pilots.
So can they sue? I mean, they can sue them, but would they win?
Um,
Negligence. So my mouth isn't working tonight. But to sue for
negligence?
that, yes. Doesn't it mean that the people have to like purposefully or like not take all the actions they could have to stop something,
Mm-hmm.
basically?
Yeah, like if they
And
purposely like let a few birds pass or like they're like meh, then I
yeah,
think they have a choice. But because this was the 7th flight, and I'm guessing they wouldn't have too much of a base for their lawsuit.
yeah, they're not going to keep hunters on the ground shooting any birds that come near.
Yeah.
I'm sure people would enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
So they could take them to a court, but they would most likely not win on the basis of negligence.
Negligence.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
She gave an example. In which court could the test pilot families bring their lawsuit? Which court would that be? To answer her question.
I don't know.
Supreme.
No, I don't. It wouldn't go straight to the Supreme Court. Let's see. Well, lawsuit, that's just a civil court, right? So just go to like a state civil court.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll go with that. All right, well, I suppose we should just move on to the next one.
The next problem I see is that it's in the same paragraph, but it's about Bill's wife. How a stockbroker calls her and tells her to sell 50% of their Boring shares. I feel like that's insider trading.
Is the stockbroker, is that someone that would be inside the company, or is that someone that's like outside the company looking at it and saying you should sell your shares?
I feel like it's outside, but I don't know. I think it's just bugging me the way it's worded.
Yeah.
That right after the crash, because it says that night Bill told his wife of the news in hopes to get consolation. She did console him after getting off the phone with their stockbroker, telling her to sell 50% of their Boring shares.
So there's no way that it would be affected in the news by then. So it's probably she told her stockbroker what happened, and then he said, "Oh, you should sell your shares then."
Yeah.
That would be illegal insider trading. Silly wife.
It's like I see if she would have just sold like maybe 10% or 5%, but selling half of her shares.
She knew something was going to go crashing down. Yeah.
Because when other people see you selling 50% of someone's share, they're going to do the exact same thing.
Freak out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. So she should have not done that. That was illegal insider trading. Hopefully she doesn't go to jail.
Hmm. I wish there was somewhere where we can make notes on these.
Yeah, that'd be super nice.
Like print out a somewhere we can notate on it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, you could always use the old-fashioned way and just pull out a piece of paper and write down what we're talking about.
Right.
Oh, who has time for that?
I don't know. I'm not doing it.
Okay, so the next problem, I'm guessing, would be in the fourth to final paragraph with the Russian guy who wants to buy their latest model, but instead of going to a
His name's Aeropop.
like a sales rep, he goes to one of the mechanics. I feel like that's
Right.
going to be a problem.
And he thought he had a contract.
Yeah. Because I feel like that can bring up a lawsuit if, like, I know the information got passed on, but I feel like
Right.
because he thought he was getting the sale right then and there.
So for a contract to be formed, doesn't both parties have to be under the understanding that the contract is being formed?
I
Like
think
you can't
so.
accidentally. So I don't think that contract, even though the Russian guy thought he had a contract, it wouldn't, like in the eyes of the law, that wouldn't be enforceable, would it?
No. But it would bring up a lawsuit, which would affect stocks.
Mhm.
So a way I think we could have avoided this is if the mechanic would have just said, like, hold on, I'm not a sales rep. Let's get you in line with someone else.
Yeah.
And
Stick
that
to your
way,
job.
yeah. And at least gotten an interpreter, seeing if someone spoke a little Russian.
Yeah.
Very true.
Anything else we need to discuss on that problem?
I do not think so. I don't know. I feel like we're gonna go into the final exam and just be like blown away with the questions that I didn't even think about.
Most likely. Alright, okay, so the next problem was the price discrimination.
Like 57 million per.
Yeah.
Did it say what it? Let's see. Oh, excuse me. I'm just rereading the problem real quick. Parts.
Yeah. So the only time it mentions jet turquoise is in that second to last paragraph. So we have no other context except for what is being told to us right then and there.
Uh-huh.
So the suit, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So in the paragraph it says the suit claimed that it was a vindictive move to punish Jet Turquoise for traditionally having an all Airbus fleet.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll bring up in the suit. So a way we can prove like our counter offer or counterclaim would be to prove that we weren't punishing them for going with the competitor.
And how do you prove that?
I don't know. Like, it's hard to do it like out of context.
Yeah.
Because maybe we're charging them more because of more modifications for the new one. But that doesn't make sense.
So if we just assumed that the planes were exactly the same and they were just charged more, even if it wasn't for that reason, would they still be able to sue the company? Or would can you just say different businesses get different prices, or
I'm guessing it's going to be the same. Because it's like if I made two little Russian nesting dolls and I sold you, Aaron, $10 for this one, but then I turn over to Michael, who's been buying Russian nesting dolls from my arch nemesis, Mikhail. Then I'm going to charge him $60 for this. That's going
Wow.
to be more of a price discrimination.
right? So then are we saying they are in a violation of price discrimination then?
I think so, just from what I'm reading in the second paragraph.
Yeah.
Like, if we would have gotten more about the deal that went down, maybe we could prove that it wasn't.
But from what we have,
Yeah.
like price discrimination. Interesting. All right, and should we sue him for taking too many aspirins? He's a druggie.
Yes.
Just take 2 leave and that's it. Call me in the morning.
Everyone knows you take Benadryl and you just go to sleep.
Uh-huh. True.
And who goes to college students to figure out their problems? Gosh. It just proves that your business is failing.
Seriously. He's like, I heard you just took business law and I don't have enough money to pay anybody, so
I would like
with all
free
these
help.
lawsuits. Yeah, I need free help. My stock is crashing. Or once we're done with you.
You think we're going to help you?
Yeah. Time to run your business to the ground.
You'd be better off with Harvard, man.
Oh. No, but well, that was a good little review. I'm about out of time.
Mm-hmm. Because don't you have to leave right now?
Yeah, I was supposed to leave like 7 minutes ago, but who's on time?
All right. Well, we discussed everything in the example, so.
Thanks, Ken.
All right, well, good luck, everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, you too.
And
Study hard.
you as well.
Bye,
Force be with
guys.
you.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.